Hello, everyone. I hope that you had a wonderful week since last we chatted and that you are very excited about heading into what I hope will be 25 hours of relaxation and reflection and study, and of course, eating a little bit, which is why I have not just one challah behind me, but two chalot, which actually connects to this week's Torah portion. It's called Ekev. Ekev, we're in the book of Deuteronomy, still the 37-day long speech that Moses gives to the Israelites as this sort of final speech where he recaps the other books, the other three books prior to him, and lots of interesting things in this week's Torah portion, including the seven species. You might have heard about the seven species in Israel that talked about dates and olives and wheat, all kinds of other things. So lots of really cool parts of the Torah portion. I would like to talk to you about the fact that there are two chalot behind me. They look delicious too. I kind of want to just climb in and take a bite. But why are there two, and what is the significance of the chalot, and how does it connect to the Torah portion this week? So part of the Torah portion this week is a reflection that Moses reminds the Israelites that while they were wandering in the desert, there was something called manna or man or moon sometimes, and it was if you know manna, it was whatever the substance was that fell from the sky that allowed the Israelites to eat while they were wandering in the middle of the desert. And there are all these conversations about what it was or what it tasted like. Some people say it was paste like. Some people say that it would taste like whatever you thought it tasted like. There were uh, all kinds of guidelines for it also, and the interesting components are that you had to eat it in one day. That was the rule that God set. So manna was going to fall, and when it fell, they were supposed to be sustained by it and feel satiated by it, maybe not overeat. And then whatever was left over, they couldn't store because it would turn kind of mushy. And some people say there were worms that grew into it, all kinds of other weird, yucky stuff. But the idea is that you're not supposed to keep it. And so also there's this commentary that says that it was sort of training the Israelites to also have faith that there would be another portion the next day because you couldn't keep the leftovers. It wasn't to think like, oh, where's the food going to come from tomorrow? You had to know in your heart, which was a learning process for them, that I had my fill today and I trust in God that I will have my fill tomorrow. And I think that's an interesting concept for us because sometimes we're concerned about tomorrow and not just concerned about today. And also, of course, plays a huge factor in the concept of faith is, do we have faith in sort of what tomorrow brings and or our connection to God? The other interesting thing, which is why there are two chalot behind us, is that according to all the commentary and everything that's in the Torah portion, the manna did not fall on Shabbat itself because it was a day of rest also for God. So God was not working to produce the manna. And so just prior to Shabbat, so let's say Friday, as an example, it was a double portion that fell so that they would have a portion for that day, for Friday, if you will, and then a portion for Shabbat, for Saturday. And that is why oftentimes, sometimes, oftentimes on Friday night, a lot of families have two chalot and you put them together to say motzi because you're reflecting on the amount, the manna, the challah that represents Friday, let's say, and then the next day's portion also, because it can remind us, by the way, of the faith that we have. And so on this Shabbat, I invite all of us to cling on to that faith a little bit, to think of and reflect on the Israelites and this beautiful tradition of the double portion that reflects on Shabbat, but also the concept that every single day there was this portion that fell from the skies that fed the Israelites. So I hope that all of us have a lovely Shabbat, and that I hope that it's faith-filled. We have, of course, the high holidays are not that far away. So this would be a good time for us to reflect on our faith, on our connection to God, on the thoughts of introspection, all of that coming at us quite soon. So I hope it's a very nice Shabbat for you. And I definitely hope you eat a lot of challah, maybe not just one challah on the Friday, but have the second challah on Shabbat. And sometimes that second challah can, just saying, could become French toast, could put some chocolate spread on it. There are a lot of fun things to do with the challah. That extra challah, by the way, can be saved and brought to the clergy for us to enjoy. Lots of options. I hope it's a wonderful Shabbat, and I hope that we're filled with faith. Services as usual, 6:30, and tomorrow morning is our service and Torah discussion, 8:30 tomorrow morning. Let's continue to put as much shalom as we possibly can into our Shabbat.